missiles into buildings. He's a bloodthirsty spook, killer spook. And he's there to let you know, young lady, this is what you saw. Isn't that right? Because I'm a hardcore soldier, and I understand collateral damage and sacrificing pawns, and you don't. So, I mean, he's there. What are the other guys doing? I mean, was he white? Was he black? I mean, describe him.
He was a Caucasian American, and he was accompanied by an African American, and I think the other woman was Asian American. Okay,
so the spook house is there, and you're saying they're in different branches of the military uniforms. Do you remember?
Yes, because after he left, the lady did come back, and she was saying that they were going around, you know, doing accountability. Because I had asked questions, I was like, well, wow. I mean, you know, are you going to ask if I'm okay? Or, I mean, well, who are you? You know? And so nobody said anything. He just said what he had to say, and that was it. So then she came back, and then she just said, hey, we have to do accountability and make sure we know where all the military people are.
Exactly. It's like, smooth that over with her. That one might ask questions. Right. Now, I mean, by then, are you wondering why you're seeing on the news, or had you watched the news that a flight...
No, I had not seen the news. I had not seen the news till about 2 more days later. So I think I saw the news maybe the 14th or the 15th. Because at that time, of course, we're getting evaluations. Because immediately the military does the investigation to determine who's at fault or if you caused part of your accident. So immediately investigations began. So immediately I went into investigation.
Well, let's stop and go back, and then we'll go forward into investigation. What specifically did he say to you? What did he say? He said, here's what you saw. I'm going to tell you what you saw. What did he say?
Specifically? He said, what do you think happened? And I said, oh, well, I thought maybe I triggered something because as soon as I touched the button on the computer, boom. He was like, no, this is what happened, and that was it. It wasn't like he was elaborating or it was nothing additional. It was just blank, straight to the point.
April, what did he tell you happened? What did he say happened?
That some terrorists had hijacked the plane that ran into or crashed into the Pentagon.
Now, have you ever talked to others? Because this story comes up with other emergency workers that showed up, people in that these men would show up and say, this is what you saw. Is that clear? Did you ever talk to anybody else who told you similar stories?
No, I hadn't. No, I hadn't talked about it.
Okay. Now, you said you immediately went into the investigation phase. Please continue.
Yeah, what happened is when you're in the military, regardless, first of all, the Pentagon, you're selected to come there. So not everybody gets to go to the Pentagon. You're selected to come there. But it doesn't matter. If you're still active duty military, they begin investigations to determine if any part of that incident was your fault. And so then you have to get, physically, mentally, emotionally evaluated, and then they investigate the incident to determine who's at fault. And so that began right away. And from there, they say, yeah, this is what happened, none of it is your fault, or they say, this happened, but part of this is your fault, that type of thing.
All right, let's talk about that investigation. Long segment coming up with our guest, April Gallop. She survived with her newborn son in the Pentagon, where she held a top-secret clearance with the SCI, with the U.S. Army. So we're going to go right back to her after the break and break down what she witnessed and what she saw and what she thinks about the official 9/11 fairy tale. Stay with us.
We're on the march. The Empire's on the run.
It leaves you, baby, if you don't care for it.
I'm really honored to have April Gallop on with us. I want to let her tell the rest of her story in the 25 minutes we've got left. An amazing radio show so far today with David Icke and then Bob Chapman on the show. Now April Gallop. We're really glad that our producer Trey is getting so many important people on the show. Before we go back to April, just want to make it clear, the establishment carried out these attacks. because they knew we had a cognitive dissonance and they thought that we couldn't face the horror of that. It's very cynical, very cold-blooded, and it is the military mind, the cold-blooded war planner mind of end justifies the means. Well, you are not the good guys, and what you've done to this country is not good, and we are going to resist you, and we are going to expose you. So be put on notice for that, and it's not any pleasure or fun that we undertake this dangerous mission against you. We understand you're cold-blooded, hardcore thieves. You're sucking the whole country dry right now. The pension funds, the Pentagon's got $4 trillion missing. The Pentagon was in deep trouble, over $1.9 trillion missing in the Associated Press and Reuters 2 days before the attacks. And we know you're trying to cover up your bank robbery, basically. Now, we're going to talk to April in just a moment. I want to tell you about a couple sponsors first before we do that. We appreciate her courage in going public. New Vitality, ladies and gentlemen, is the longest... Well, they're just been around for a long time. I know it's an old company. And I know that they don't make magic claims or super claims. They've just got the well-documented, thousands-of-year-old remedies, 100-year-old remedies, treatments, things that are known to really have good effects. NewVitality.com is their website. If you missed that website, there's a big banner halfway down the page on Infowars.com. And they've got thousands of different products. I mean, it's hundreds of pages of products. It's massive. You can't go through it all in a day, basically. Just go check them out, or give them a phone call, 1-800-569-4056, 1-800-569-4056. They have things like aloe, colon, and body cleanse. Aloe vera has been documented so long for its nutritive and health effects and detoxification and flushing out things. Then they have stuff like super beta prostate with the combo of different herbs that are well known to shrink the prostate that even medical doctors prescribe a lot of times. 1-800-569-4056. They're just great folks. NewVitality.com, or again, the banner up on Infowars.com. But not just those two products. Those are two that I researched and I know are great. They said, well, we want to sponsor you. What do you want to sponsor? And I said, well, I know these two, I know aloe vera is really good for flushing out your intestines and detoxifying, and I know this formula of herbs for the prostate's great. I know you're a respected company, so I'll endorse these. But there's a lot of other great stuff on their website, newvitality.com. Then in closing, one other sponsor I want to tell you about is Food Shortage USA. And Food Shortage USA is great materials on how to store food yourselves in all the problems we face with the economy and war and devaluation of the currency. Food Shortage USA, that's one word, foodshortageusa.com. And what you do right now is check out Food Shortage USA's site, that's foodshortageusa.com, and watch the free video there online. You'll learn why almost everything is wrong about how most people are preparing for the coming food crisis. Step-by-step approach for the average guy to get prepared for what's coming. I think it's the best part of this is you can get off the food grid easily, even if you don't have a lot of money to spend. Food Shortage USA. Listen, folks, don't wait for the crisis. Don't take a chance on having enough to eat. Check it out, foodshortageusa.com. Okay, going to April Gallop. Thank you for holding during the sponsors that make the show possible. Because I want you to be able to tell whatever part of the story you want. You've told us up to this point. Then they start the, quote, investigation. In the 20 minutes we've got left, roughly, run through then the rest of the story. And, boy, is there a lot of it left. And then tell us your take on what really happened on 9/11, being one of the victims of it.
Well, it's a long story because, again, it's been a long journey, and we're still battling in 2008. And the investigations remain ongoing, and because every so many months, during the medical evaluations, the paperwork would get lost. And so then we had to start all over again and begin the process all over again. And so it stayed that way for many, many years. And then during one point in my medical eval, they were pretty much explaining to me that it wasn't appropriate to share that my son had been in the building that particular day and had gotten hurt. And then I thought it was unusual when I asked, well, what in the world am I supposed to say? Who am I supposed to say, was hurt him? I mean, what in the world was I supposed to say?